Hi, Martin.
Hey, James.
Hello.
I was wondering for a bit whether I joined 2 times, but there's another Martin K.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, we can get started in a minute. I think given today is a US public holiday, this is all the forum or quorum we might get, but let's wait for another minute to see if someone else is joining. Okay, we can get started. If anyone has items, please add them to the agenda so that we can be efficient in time split. The first 7 minutes is for end user triage, and then we'll split. Also, look into CI Flake dispatch. Nadia has done a great job in finding the relevant ones. So let's start with the end user triage first. If I can get it to open in my current tab. Okay. This one was opened yesterday. Where are the defined default OVN ACLs in Kubernetes? This should be easy to explain. Does someone want to take it up and help the user? Wow,
I think I
a lot
did
of
a talk on
information.
ACLs at some point. But yeah,
Yeah.
you can try.
Yeah, maybe we can just link this person to those talks.
I mean, can't promise it's the latest version, but yeah, I can try to take this one.
Yeah, thanks, Nadia. Looks like they tried their best to find the ACLs. But
Yeah, there is a lot of research, so let's see.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. All right. That's one at least nice issue. The next one, oh wow, I don't know why it's doing that. IP tables NFC rules is not working for the pod traffic. We're testing this in our an OpenShift. Maybe we should ask them to create a downstream bug. Joking. In an OVN is the default CNI. We're trying to restrict traffic from pods to certain nodes, and we are adding rules in IP tables NFT for testing purpose to see if blocking the connection. Yeah. Wow. Workload level block. That's not nice. I don't. Why are they not using network policies? Is it because you don't have node
Find this.
selector in network policy? Also tried egress firewall. Okay, that looks closer. Egress firewall has a node selector, right, Nadia? Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah, I think egress firewall has node selector. Tim added something, right? Node
Oh
selector.
yeah, true. I actually reviewed that and then fixed it a couple times. Okay.
Yeah, I think that should be the better way to block pod to node. I don't know why this is not working for them, but anyone else wants to
Oh, they
help
say it is
triage
working,
this?
I think, but it's limited because they want to set TCP flags. So I don't think it's something we can
Oh,
accommodate.
yeah. Oh, I didn't see that part. Okay, I think someone needs to take this and say this is not a supported feature. We don't support fine-grained level state tracking, filtering for packet traffic, and we don't actually have plans to support it, I think. So, but it would be good to at least engage with this user.
I can
Who
do that.
wants to? Thank you, Martin.
That will take me 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, going on to the next one. When a DB server is deleted, the new pod cannot update. Oh, this looks like non-interconnect cluster. Okay, maybe I should just close this up because I think after Flavio replied, he didn't respond anyways. Also, those of you who took issues and assigned it to yourself, if the end user has not replied, then it's better to just close them. If you have not heard back from them for 2 weeks or something. Okay, this is the last issue. I think I remember looking at this. This was also some route change on workload thing. So I would like to have the additional capability of setting arbitrary routes, which will be effective on pod creation. So I think this one needs that route override CNI or something, maybe. That's the better way to do it. But yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to take this to tell the user
Sorry,
what is the right way.
So I just heard route override CNI. Did I understand it correctly?
I think maybe that is useful for them, but we would need to ask them what exactly they're after, because they said they want to arbitrarily set routes on the, which are active on the
So,
pod creation. I assume it's within the pods, but
yeah, but I don't think you can use that. Like, we do not allow for chain CNI on secondary attachments. So you
we
cannot
as an OVN
chain.
cube doesn't.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But this can be possible with chaining the CNAs, right? If you have another
Thought
CNA.
Multus would help us with it, which we.
Yeah, Maltus does that. It's our code that just says, no, we don't support this. Like, we do not allow chaining of other CNIs. Like, we disallow CNI chaining.
Right, not OVN cube, but if this user could use Multus plus route override CNI without, and then OVN cube as primary CNI, it could work, right? Like I think what I was about to suggest is
I
for this user
have
to use
no
other
idea.
projects. Because I don't think this is
Yeah,
something we will support in
you can
OVN
do
cube.
this if you can do this if you use anything that is not on Kubernetes. For primary attachment, I have no idea how that would work. I'm just saying that for secondaries, we disallowed
Yeah,
chaining.
yeah, I agree. Oh, that's why it's a feature proposal here, but I don't know if we are having the bandwidth to take up this feature proposal. Perry, I'll assign this to you, and could you maybe respond to the user saying if they really want this, maybe they should open an enhancement to support it?
Yeah, I will take this up. Sorry.
Thank you.
We can propose something.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're done with issue triage. I think we are pretty much caught up on all the end user issues. I'm not going to go back to closed issues. One caveat I wanted to announce before we go to the CI Flake dispatch is there is a bot which will close the issues that are not addressed by either 60 days or 90 days. I'm not sure which one. So if we don't assign the, let's say, end user issues to someone within the 90 days or 60 days, then it just gets auto closed. So there are several issues in our backlog where we didn't pay attention and a lot of them got closed, but it is what it is. We can just focus on the future. Okay, that's all for the end user issue triage. Over to Nadia, who has done a great job in coming up with CI flakes. So I'll open.
Yeah, so I put a couple of them, just hoping we will be able to assign them to someone and find volunteers because we don't have an algorithm on how to assign that. Yeah, so first one, I've seen some of these flakes, I've seen more, some of them less, but I did find a bit of a pattern there with the load balancer service test with MetalLB. I don't know exactly if they're all related to each other, but some of them, when I investigated a little bit, were similar. So I figured I'll do that as a batch. And then whoever does it, feel free to say, okay, these are all totally separate. Anyway, there are hopefully, I think in some of them, at least there are some fresh logs. I updated at least a couple of them. So sometimes it can happen that these flakes will be reported, but then if it's been more than a month or so since the job has passed or failed, actually, the logs will be deleted. So we will still have the flake, but absolutely no logs or information on it. Which is a bit of a problem, and it's nice to triage bugs when they're fresh, I guess. Yeah, anyway, so I'm just looking for someone who is more familiar with that. I'm sorry to say, Surya, that I did see your name on the MetalLB tests when I found them, but yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. Maybe you know at least who also continued to work on that or anything. I haven't touched that myself.
Yeah, I'm pretty much sure I added all the MetalLB tests, but anyone else should also be able to pick this up. We don't have much volunteers here. Everybody picked an issue today.
Oh yeah, should we have a separate bucket for CI failures? I'm picking up myself the CI failures, the most annoying ones that I see, and try to fix them, but I can only do as many a month. So yeah, unfortunately, I've spent my budget for CI flakes already. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to be assigned. I think maybe when we further develop as an upstream community, we figure out like that there must be a duty of someone to make sure that the CI flakes are also getting assigned a fix. So we should assign at least some of them, hopefully, and then I don't know. Hope to work on them at least in the next month or so, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm actually afraid to take one of these because I've taken ones in the past and not done them. So I don't want that to happen again. But I want to spend a portion of my time working on this going forward, on just toil on the repo. So a flake is a good way to help with that, right?
Yeah, it's a very good way, Martin, and everyone else.
So I was looking at that egress IP gRPC bug, and I see it isn't failing that regularly, but it is failing consistently.
Yeah, I also think just for everyone else, I think there are some failures, especially if they've been failing for some time. People just look at them and retest without re-reporting the latest failures. So you're like, I know it's a flake, so please do add a job to the comment just because most of the previous comments are expired now. Yeah, but as long as you can get some logs from there, that would be nice. If not, you can still probably, oh, it is assigned to you. I wanted to say that you can still assign to yourself, and then if there is, maybe there is a fresh report or something, if you're saying it hasn't been updated for a while, that would be the trigger, your sign that now is the time to spend some of your time to focus on it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
The test decided, you know.
Okay, so there's nothing to do there, it's assigned to me. So once I get the new logs in, I should do it.
Okay. So you're saying there are no fresh logs, right? On July 15, yeah.
Well, I have to confirm that, but I see the last one was in July.
Oh no, it's actually still there, so it must be more than a month. Good news, Martin. The logs are still there.
Yay.
You see, I reported them. You can thank me later. Okay, so I think then if like there is just no one else who has the time to look at any of those, we just first need to figure out some algorithm or some way of assigning bugs, because just like there is no point in me building this list if no one will be able to take them anyway. Do we do some campaign like one CI flake a month keeps the doctor away or something?
Yeah, this is not related to that, but the same problem exists for reviewers. So my worry is, even if we have a campaign or a bot to pick random people, it doesn't help. Not like all the picked people are reviewing. So same way, I don't know if all the assigned people can get to it. So this is all going to be best effort, but at least we should be able to find some assignee on it. So
Surya, can you open the material LP values? Take a look.
yeah.
There are 4.
So remember these we saw during Cube Rebase also, like some of these were never having an endpoint. I don't think it's directly related to the rebase, because I saw it happening even before I merged Arthi's PR. But yeah, this is one of them. And then the other one with this FRR route, this was very stable. So I don't know what broke. I remember like we didn't hit this
Yeah,
for a
maybe
really
I
long
can
time.
check
Like
the previous one, Surya. Maybe I can investigate what is
this one?
happening. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Perry.
I'm sending Red
This
Hat thank
was
you to all of you.
5, 4, 8.
No problem.
Maybe
That's
you
for
can
people
send,
who have points.
maybe you can send us each a GPU for every flake
Oh,
we
I would
take.
love to. Don't have the budget. That would increase our CI dispatch. Speed
For
up.
sure. If DPU is the reward, then I think everyone should jump. Okay, thank you so much, Perry, and thank you
Yeah,
also,
thank you.
Nadia, for raising these. I will circulate it with the QA engineers also on my team in case anybody is interested in picking it up. Meanwhile, maybe you can do it to your downstream team at NVIDIA also. And
Yeah, I will try to talk about that and see what we can do.
yeah,
Is it very urgent or can take
it's
some time?
not urgent. You can take some time, Perry. You can take a few weeks, but at least that it's assigned to you. We know that you're going to follow up and fix it. But none of this is urgent. Don't yeah, don't burn out. Okay, sounds good. We will also try to start a Slack thread for 4 issues. We haven't found assignees for 3 of them at LB plus 1 internal traffic policy local. We'll try to start a Slack thread. I'll try to ping at least for the 4 issues. What we could do, Nadia, is I can find 2 more from Red Hat and you can find 2 more from NVIDIA.
Yeah, I mean, another point is it's like a running prioritized in a way list, so we can just also move it to the next week. I'm not sure like how many we want to assign necessarily today versus like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, at least these ones I know that you're flagged as the top ones, right? So regardless.
Yeah. Oh, but there are more coming.
Yeah, but if we can't even find assignees for these, I don't know how to get
true.
more in next week's. So at least that's the concrete action item I can think of. I'll try to pull 2 people from our side, and you can try to pull 2 from your side.
Yeah, let's try this.
Yeah. Okay, we are at time for the dispatch. I'll just write that down. I don't know what Tim meant by node ingress 5 alt for OVN-Kubernetes, but he's on PTO, so I will move this item to the next meeting. And he also wanted to talk about 1.2 release planning. I think we can talk about it. The 1.1 release was cut, and the current milestone for 1.2 release is targeted for December 31st, but that's like end of the year. So instead of that, I might do December 1st for 1.2 release. I don't want to wait another 6 months for it.
Is our release following any of the other upstream projects like Kubernetes?
We
Rover?
don't strictly follow them, but we do a few months after that. So once the kube release is done, then we will consume that release and then do our own release. But that's like, it's kind of following OpenShift release in some sense. But then we're not even there. Like, so I tried to do 3 releases per year, but then we're barely doing 2 per year. So we want to get there at some point, like Kubernetes, to be able to do 3 per year, but we'll see. For the planning itself, I think we want to do no overlay, which has an enhancement, EVPN, and connecting UDNs. And then the L2 router improvements. The MCP server. I don't know, Girish and Tim can take a look at this list, and Nadia, you also. And if the maintainers agree that these are the features, the only request I have to the community is if you want to consider something as part of 1.2 release, which is releasing in December 1st, please add the milestone to your issue and PRs so that we know what to block the release for. And then there is also a PR that Dave is working on to have some improvements and some more, let's say, documented approach to release, and to see if we need a release liaison or a coordinator who can keep track of releases better, etc., etc. But we will see if Dave is not here, right? But yeah, we can revisit that PR that is open there and leave some reviews.
Sorry, I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Martin.
So we're doing this release based on this feature or feature set, right? And then we're targeting a specific time as well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it'd be one or the other, but it seems to be a combination. Is that how we're going to go, right? We're going to have a target date roughly, and then a feature set, and we're going to aim for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're setting a rough date as December 1st. And then we're targeting that we're planning for these features by that date. But for example, let's say EVPN doesn't finish, right? And given every feature is usually behind a feature gate, we will just remove it from that release. So it gets pushed to 1.3.
Okay, so it's an optimistic feature set for this date. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. The reason why I know it's a huge feature, but even if we can get like a scoped part of it in 1.2, that's good. And then we can get the second part in a future release. But the reason why we plan the features is so that the community knows what enhancements to focus on for giving reviews. And so if there are other OCAPs which we need to put attention on because we want it for a specific release in the short term, then we know what that list is.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anybody in the community, if you have cycles, each of these has an enhancement open. I can try to link all those enhancements here after the meeting. Please spend some time in reviewing other people's enhancements. And if you are owning an enhancement, please pay attention to the dates. Okay, I think that's it. And I'm sure that Tim and Girish might have more features that they want to add from NVIDIA side. I don't know, Nadia, if you are aware of anything else, but yeah, you can see.
Yeah, it's the first time I think we're declaring December the 1st, so we'll need to double check exactly what should fall into that timeline. So yeah, probably on the next meeting, we'll just take another look.
Yeah, and this December 1st, again, I at least want to stick to something, right? And then we can I would rather have more releases in a year. So let's say we're not able to get something done in 1.2, right? Cutting a 1.3 is not that difficult. So we can do it rather than stalling. The December 1st becomes December 31st, which becomes January 31st because we're missing docs. This is what happened to the previous 2 releases. So that's why I was like, okay, at least we move fast. And if something doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. We cut the release with whatever got done, and we can immediately in 2 or 3 months cut another release. But yeah, let's revisit this discussion in the next upstream meeting. Moving on to...
Wait a second, I think Miguel has his hand up.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, So I'm just interested in how were these chosen and what's the priority between them and like what's the process like? Do people just throw more things into this? Like this doesn't scale, right?
If there is things that we should be considering as part of the release, they must be raised in community meeting, and then the maintainers can decide what is feasible versus what is not based on the number of approvers.
So for instance, like let's just take into account the current picture that we're all looking at. Like, is this feasible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 features? I don't know. I guess nobody knows, to be honest. I'm just trying to establish like a baseline for the expectations and to kind of understand process.
Yeah, we are planning for them. And like I mentioned, if something doesn't get done, we won't stall the release. It just gets pushed to the next release. But the community is going to focus on reviewing the enhancements and work related here. If it doesn't get done, it gets pushed.
Also,
And
keep in mind that we are just starting to like figuring out a proper process for that. Before, I mean, we've always been doing that just without proper discussion. So I guess in the beginning, just trying to raise it and talk about that will be our first iteration, and then I think we'll have to improve also and add more rules. And as you're saying, like maybe hit some other bottlenecks and figure out how to solve that probably later.
Yeah, that's why I
yeah, I mean,
mentioned that Dave has a PR. I don't know if you've looked at it, Miguel. There is a PR to
I
outline the
have no
release
idea.
process. So maybe if you have ideas, you can also pitch them on the PR.
Can that PR be linked somewhere? Like,
Yeah, it's
would be
in
good.
the backlog, but someone will have to
Okay,
find it.
I
I'll
will fish
see.
for it.
Yeah, it should be under Dave Tucker's name. Okay, any other questions? So I guess like Nadia was saying, right, we are trying this is new. So we're trying something here, and we have a PR where we're trying to document the release process, but we can learn only from experience. We'll get better at it eventually. Moving on to the next item in lieu of time. JNEO8 GitHub user ID is also in the meeting. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Maybe you can introduce yourself and also.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm James. Yeah, so I can just start from the requirement, right? So you can see the issue I opened. So the requirement come from like we want to build OVN exporter. It's a standalone general OVN exporter, and we think we can reuse the current metrics package from this repository. I have a POC, but I think because there are some hard coded value and there are something related to the like in some function, if you want to register the exporter, you need to have some Kubernetes client. So this is one example PR I submit to 1.0. So that as I put in the issue, I will create the PR for all the release, master 1.0, 1.1. But before I move forward, I just want to make sure like it's a good idea for everyone.
Thanks, James, for bringing this to the community meeting. I think if I understand correctly, you want to make it configurable and remove the hard-coded path values.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, at least for me. Anybody else has objections in the community? In the general approach, at least. Oh, I see a thumbs up from Nadia. Yeah. So I think we just need to maybe find a reviewer to help James. And is this your first contribution, James, to OVN Kubernetes? Yeah,
First
welcome to the community.
Yeah, nice to meet
Thank you.
everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much for the PR. And yeah, I think the PR has to be against master first, and then you can backport it to the older releases. But like you said, maybe for starters, somebody can help take a look at this PR and see or tell James if he's in the right direction. Does anybody want to volunteer here to review the PR? Not that big.
I can take a look. Yep. Sorry, I was trying to find my unmute button.
Ah, thank
Oh,
you so much.
did Martin already start?
No, I think Martin was just mentioning to bring it up in the community meeting to get some attention. Or Martin, were you planning to review? I don't
No, I
know.
was just trying to get this PR reporter some help.
I don't know why the bot didn't pick a reviewer. Usually we have a system where when you open the PR, it picks someone.
I guess it's maybe because I submitted the PR to 1.0.
Ah,
And
that's why. Yeah,
yeah,
good point. Okay,
but
so Patrick, oh, sorry, go ahead.
sorry. Thank you, Patrick. So right now I'm preparing the PR for the master. Should be come out later. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we need the master one first, and then we can consider backporting.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Thank you so much, Patrick, and thank you so much, James. Okay, moving on, unless there's something else we need to discuss there. Patrick.
Sorry, I hate Zoom. Yeah, Clean raised a nice PR here. I took a look, and it actually highlights a problem we have, where, especially with Helm, we install Prometheus CRDs, but Prometheus is not something we manage or install. So today, without this change, if you install OpenK through Helm, if you get to Prometheus CRDs some of our alerts and monitors, and they are not going to be functional because Prometheus is not installed. So there are two ways we can get out of this. One is we don't get into the business of managing and installing Prometheus, and we just provide those monitors and alerts as examples for the kind setup. And what Kilian suggested for Helm, we could just have a check that if you've enabled these, the Helm installation would verify that you have Prometheus CRDs in your cluster and Prometheus is installed. So thinking about it, I would say let's be minimalistic and don't provide Prometheus automation and go with a version of what Kilian is suggesting, which is if Prometheus is installed, we can get you some monitors for OpenK. If it's not, you don't get those. And I'd like to hear what all of you think. Like, I don't think we need to automate Prometheus on top of everything we are already doing in Helm and kind.
My main question is if anybody's using that.
Good question.
It's interesting because in kind we have the alerts and metrics, but they are not really installed. They are just two files that are not used by our automation. But in kind in Helm, we actually do apply them, and I think someone did very straightforward approach that it didn't work because we didn't have the Prometheus installed, so they just copied some older Prometheus CRDs, and that's why it works. But Prometheus is still not installed with Helm. So out of the box, it doesn't work in Helm, and it's not applied in kind, in the kind SH approach. So it's a bug. The question is, do we want to install Prometheus, or do we want to make it a bit more resilient? And I would opt for just making it resilient and relying on users to set up Prometheus if they want to use the alerts and monitors.
Yeah, I think I would also prefer that, and then have some nice docs to show how people can do it themselves. If they want to have that, want to install Prometheus with OVN-Kube. If I remember correctly, this is part of that SDN dashboard epic, right? From NVIDIA. I don't remember who initially worked on it. Nadia, do you
So
remember?
funnily enough, I think the dashboard is guarded where it expects the user to install Prometheus, but the monitors and alerts are always applied together with the CRDs, which is incorrect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was
So I
just
guess
thinking if we
No, I
can
have.
get that person to review the. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say I have no idea who worked on that, but also maybe we just should discuss that on the next meeting again when like Girish will be here, probably remember. But anyway, just starting an upstream discussion also makes sense. It's just the only worry is that we don't want to break anyone, because that's obviously not a backwards compatible change. So the question is what's the best way to do that if we can make sure that, well, I mean, we can't make sure that no one's using that because then people will upgrade and, well, it will stay, I guess, in the
Yeah.
cluster unless you make an explicit remove, but it will not be updated anyway. I'm not even sure if it's properly working right now. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's correct in the first place because we install some arbitrary CRDs that might not be aligned with the Prometheus version that the user would install on their own, right? So yeah, what I just wanted to get to is, do we take the straightforward way out of this? And if you want monitors, you have to install Prometheus on your own for Helm. Kind of Sage is less automated there.
Installing the Prometheus itself makes total sense to be done outside of NK. I mean, you could mostly just expose metrics usually, and okay, if we are trying to help someone automate that, I'm not even sure if it makes much sense, but it should be also behind the flag at least.
Yeah,
Say.
and I was even thinking, should this be an example or something like that instead of us automating it? But I guess we can keep it automated, but behind a gate that if Prometheus is not installed, we are not going to apply it.
Oh, I was muted. I was just trying to write that down. I think the approach looks good, and we can try to make sure nobody's using it from NVIDIA side before we remove it. But looks like since Kilian is from NVIDIA, it makes sense that they know that they don't need it. So thank you, Patrick, for raising this. Anything on that topic?
No, thank you.
Okay. For connecting UDNs, I think it's just a call for reviews on the enhancement. Oh, looks like I did not undraft it. But yeah, if anyone's interested in taking a look at the how to connect two UDNs together enhancement, which is 5246, I welcome reviews. I was hoping Dave would be on the call, but there's not enough people to discuss and fix on the API name. So maybe we'll just take it offline on the enhancements. The next one was already the one that we discussed with the reviewers. Yeah, I don't have a neat, clear solution here. So a lot of PRs are assigned by the bot randomly to different people, and sometimes maybe it's it's possible that the reviewer is not comfortable reviewing the PR because they're not aware of that feature or don't know enough, or maybe they don't have the time to review. I don't know which of these is true, but I just wanted to set some guidelines or expectations on if you are an org member and if you are in the list of people that the bot picks, it is an unset expectation for you to review the PRs, or if you're not comfortable and won't be able to review those PRs, you must unassign yourself. Otherwise, it's just extra burden for the author to find someone who can review their PR. And it's just a false thing if your name is there. There is also a PR that Pang is working on to outline what are the duties of a member in OVN-Kubernetes repo. So if anyone's interested, please review this. And as part of the responsibilities of being a member, I think I'll add the review bit also. So there is a chance you get removed from being a member if you're not doing reviews. Same goes for maintainers. Since it's not just for members, also maintainers, kind reminder that please review other people's PRs. That's all on the topic. I don't know if anybody else has bright ideas on how to improve that process in general.
Yeah, not really. We have more PRs than we can review, it feels like anyway. So some of them will not be reviewed because it's just not possible.
Yeah, I think we are having a lot of backlog now, but it is what it is. It's all best effort. It's upstream at the end of the day. But yeah, I'll just add that guideline to the rules for members, and then we can see it. And we can see how it works out. That's all on the topic. Next is Miguel.
Yeah, so something I just noticed, like, you go scroll, can you scroll a little bit up? Or
I just
scroll
added
up a
that
little bit.
Up.
as
Yeah.
the last thing, right?
Up
So
or
probably we can
down,
just
like here.
fast forward, like this PR that by the new contributor that was pushing something to main, not to main, to the release branch. So I just noticed I had the big green button saying merge pull request, which does not sound good at all. So yeah, I just raised it. Like, you probably don't want to have people being able to merge PRs directly here, and I just took care of that a while back. I confirmed that I no longer can merge random PRs to release branches.
Oh,
Yeah, that's just something I added at the very bottom of the agenda because Miguel has sent a message to the chat. So I figured we actually only had protection rules for the master branch, and now we have release branches, which also should be protected. The question is whether we want to protect all of the branches, but I think Dependabot is doing something there. Anyway, I added just the exact same copy of the master protection rules to the release branches, and Miguel confirmed that now there is no big green button.
Yeah. No green button.
You had a chance
thank you
to
so
merge that.
much. Okay.
Yeah.
You felt
You still
powerful
have
for a
to
few
new
days.
pieces.
Oh, sorry. I was about to say thank you so much, Miguel, for bringing that up. And thanks, Nadia, for adding the rules. I think this should be part of the branch cut release process. We should add this part release process cut. So as soon as the branch is cut, we should have protection rules for each branch. And I think the CI is also not up
it
for
now
vulnerability.
applies to all the release dash branches. Fortunately, I think they allow the wildcarding. But if we introduce
that's
new
awesome.
branch, new kind of branch that needs to be protected, then yes, don't forget.
Yeah, I think a few days ago I disabled the permission for anybody to create a branch. So hopefully only maintainers can create it, but I'm not too sure. We need to check back. Let's see. Maybe one of you can try to do a test if you're able to create a branch, and then we'll see if we need to block that. I think I blocked it, but yeah, for our own sake, I think everything starts with release dash prefix, so we should be good here. But once again, thank you, Miguel, for raising this. Next one is also Miguel.
Yes. So we're trying to. So me and my subgroup are a little bit concerned about the, let's say, the time it takes for reviews to happen on the repo, and this is very related to what you were discussing now. And like we worry about like the overall, let's say, organization of the repo, like, and how, on our opinion, it is not very modular, the code that is living there. So I was wondering what would be the process on starting like, let's say, a proper tracked refactor of some portion of the code to make it like more modular and easier in the future to change it. So since you've adopted the OCAP process, I assume that it would be like push an OCAP describing roughly what your plans are and what your goal is and all that, and take it that. But now I just realized that you will only look at enhancements that come from a pre-defined list of topics. And anything else will need to be, I don't know, put to a vote or something, which is like, again, the same thing.
No, I mean, that was not true exactly. Like for enhancements itself, there is no release process. So anyone can review any enhancement. The implementation of that enhancement is what is targeted for the release.
Yeah,
So,
literally. But the point is,
yeah, sorry, yeah.
all I'm asking is, I really don't want to commit my time and everybody else and another team member's time to write an enhancement that will not get any attention or will not have attention of the people that need to approve it. So, because if that happens, it's just we're offloading the problem from the implementation PR to the enhancement PR, and both of them just translate into wasted time. So I'm trying to kind of understand how this happens, and I'm trying to understand if you're interested in efforts in trying to refactor the code base to make it more modular. That's kind of what I'm asking about.
Nadia?
Yeah, I just wanted to point about the enhancement proposal PRs. It's usually a good practice to bring up the thing you want to do in a meeting first, just to get some general feedback, because it oftentimes can be, okay, we've already done that in the past, it was a bad idea, or like, well, also checking on whether someone will have enough time to do that, or if it's important enough for the community. So that would be one thing to do before opening the enhancement proposal and without wasting anyone's time, as I would suggest. And it can be that, yeah, for the next release, we are so full that we can take anything till, I don't know, next year or whatever. And it's still better to, I guess, to communicate that and agree on that than just waiting, silently waiting for reviews that are not coming.
So yeah, as with most things in life, this is like an expectation game that needs to be kind of balanced from all angles. And so you're recommending me to come up with a meeting with the maintainers. Did I understand correctly?
Yeah, not just the maintainers, the regular upstream meeting like we're having now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, yeah, I mean, considering some of the enhancement, not all of them went that path, but if you're not sure if it's getting enough attention and if there is enough space, let's say in the next release, I think that's a good place to discuss that. You say, I want this change because this and that. Is it reasonable to try and get it into the next release? Let's say if you're concerned about the timelines, or like find the right people to review that, at least for the first couple of times. Yeah, that's a good place to hold this discussion, I would say.
Okay.
And coming to the modular point, I guess just making the code modular will not help in any way, but I guess what you want is having extra approvers for specific modules. Is that what you're suggesting?
I mean, that's something I've been kind of asking for, I mean, I don't think you'll be able to scale the organization in any other way. Like if you force people to like understand top to bottom everything, that. I just don't see that happening. I mean, I've been contributing to this project for the past 4 years or 3, and I really do not pretend to say that I understand more than 30% of it. And I'm fairly, let's say, comfortable in that zone. Like, I know my bits. I don't know everything else. Everything else I just don't feel comfortable with. And I have the choice of, do I want to learn about the remaining 70%, stuff like egress IPs, egress service, all those things? I have absolutely no clue about that, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but you also, we still have this like intermediate kind of mode, right? When we would also, approvers don't know all the code equally well, so you will always have a review for especially big PRs from the expert in that field. That could be you, for example. And then if you say, okay, I've reviewed that looks good to me, then all that needs to happen, and I mean, if you're so confident, you can literally say to the maintainer, okay, I'm really fine with that, can you just merge that? Which, I mean, questionable, but then it usually, if it has been reviewed and agreed on, it doesn't take too much time from an approver to do an extra review, just like to make sure it makes sense.
Still, just want to make a remark. Like, I do appreciate the comment, and that would be like, but let me highlight the fact that that would be like a long-term goal of this effort. What we want to do is to have the code in a way that you do not have to touch everything. Like, you don't change something and you have like 500 unit tests that break on the oven package, which is something that if you have to touch the oven package might happen because you have to, I don't know, touch a little helper that pretty much creates the nodes that everything on that package is using. And that package is probably like, I don't know, 50 test files. I mean, it's an example. I'm trying to say that if this were more modular, the code changes could be like a lot more pinpointed and with a lot less like blast radius of stuff going wrong in places I have no idea what's happening around here. And I'm just saying this because it happened to me like, I don't know, 2 days ago. So
yeah, I guess I'm trying to figure out the end goal, because what you're saying is a very good idea, but it also makes sense just from the architectural point of view. It's nice when
pretty
the code
much
is modular, right?
Yeah.
I've also, but I think you also said, I didn't make this up, right? That it's related to like the speed and how much time it takes to review the code and like something like that. Okay.
So
what
it's
I really like you're trying to solve both, kinda. Because I'm not sure if just making the code more modular, I mean, it would be awesome. I'm all up for that. I don't know if it will help with the review process though, and like speeding that up.
I mean, we're seeing everywhere that it does. Like, Kubernetes works like this. KubeVirt works like this. You can approve if you need to. If you change, like OpenShift Origin, for instance, same thing. If you happen to touch the Go mod, you need to get somebody from TRT to approve your stuff. It's kind of the same thing. You need just to get approvals at that level. In this scenario, it doesn't work like this because, I don't know, oven package to me is the perfect example for this. Like, it's, I don't know, a junkyard, like everything is there. I mean, not that bad, but like a lot of unrelated things are in the same package. And like, we would like to see that.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I think we all know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but the thing is, committing to changing that, because like refactoring is not the funnest task in the world. It's not the worst. I do get that, but it's not the funnest thing in the world, but only for it to dedicate a lot of time and for nothing to happen, because yeah, I understand priorities exist and other stuff have higher priorities. That would be bad. Hence, I'm just asking, like, does this make sense to you? What are the next steps? What can we do? And does this make sense in the upcoming release scope? Which I do not know, but I can come back in 2 weeks and, I don't know, rap again about this, I guess.
Yeah, okay, I can say that the whole, it's like refactoring the code, making it better. Does it sound good? That sounds awesome. As you noted yourself, it's all about priorities always. So I'm personally all up for that. I don't know how, I can't even, with the knowledge I have about this repository, I'm scared to think about how much time it will take to unravel everything we have there. But it's like,
So
I would be happy
that's
to
it. Like,
participate in that.
it's a Sisyphean task to do this on a tiny piece, much harder to do it on everywhere. So, like, I think the way to go is to point at something small and start for that. Like, that's why I'm putting here the name local. It's because we kind of understand it. We've written a lot of the unit tests about this. We understand what's supposed to be happening, and it's not that big as other things. So that, but again, let's move forward, I guess. No decision is going to happen today.
Yeah, the problem with so I think it's a great idea. I think this is really like both of you have mentioned, for me, +1 to making the code in OVN-Kubernetes modular. But even when I think about local net, which has a secondary local net controller in the package OVN, which depends on the secondary controller, which depends on the base secondary controller, which depends on the base controller. All of that is in package OVN. And when we want to split it out, it might be a small feature in splitting it out, but it still needs that whole, okay, what happens to that dependent controller design. So I do think that the OCAP is the right way forward. But to answer your question on will my OCAP get any reviews, I don't know the answer to that. Like, I can only speak for myself that I don't have time right now or in the next 2-3 months. But I don't know if any other maintainers can champion the effort.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
I mean, as
see
I said,
now, go ahead, Nadia.
yeah, I just want to say that I would love to help, but I can't understand the size of it for now. And then also, I think until you start making this change and actually try moving things, it's hard to express as an OCAP. But if someone can do that, well, that would be awesome. And like just
Yeah,
predict the changes that you need to do. And
yeah,
then we
and
can
No,
of
I
course you
think,
would need a POC for sure. Like, I was
yeah,
thinking
literally.
more on
Yeah.
the function call chart. Even that is complex. It's like a spaghetti, just having the
But
function call chart drawn.
still now understand why I was asking in the part like about when you were coming up with a list for the things for the 1.2 release. Like, how does this process go? Like, because you were saying just write here more stuff, and I'm like, wait, what do you mean write here more stuff? I can put whatever I want here, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
So
anything. And that stays the same
that's
for
what I
all
want
of
to
these
understand.
features also. It's the same for all of these features. It's all, everything upstream is best effort. We are saying we want to try to target it. At the end of the day, unless you have assigned people championing these efforts, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but that's also what you're kind of doing now, right? You're bringing up this potential OCAP. That's exactly what you've asked
Yeah.
about, and that's the process you're following. You're like, I have this idea.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Will someone do that? I'm saying I would love to try and at least review the OCAP, and then I can't predict, depending on the size of the PRs that the implementation will actually take. I'd love to help, but depending on my schedule and like how much free time I have at that time, a bit hard to predict. Otherwise, yeah, makes total sense, and then I think it's still at least a good thing to get started with. And that's the feedback you're looking for. Otherwise, let's say Surya says, okay, I don't have any time for the next 3 months. So, I mean, she will not be able to help you. And that's kind of the best process we have for now, I guess.
Yeah. But I think in general, I'm going to write down the consensus as this is an amazing idea. Cleans up our repo and gets us more modular. Community is green signal. I don't think anybody has concerns in terms of the whole thing that Miguel is proposing. Okay, Martin had to drop. Okay, Tim is on PTO. Yeah, makes sense. The only other thing that I had, and I know we are right at time, so I don't need 5 minutes. I can just take 1 minute to quickly say that we had a proposal for adding a new MCP server for troubleshooting OVN Kubernetes. We had discussed this in the previous community meeting. I got some nice discussions with both Divesh and Han. We had a meeting with NVIDIA and Red Hatters. And there was a positive, let's say, consensus around doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and there was also a Slack thread where people gave +1. So this is just a heads up to the community that I'm going to go ahead and create a new repo for MCP server, but we won't merge any code till the enhancement is merged. So heads up on that. Martin has gone, but then I think he needed a review from Tim, and Tim is on PTO today. So okay, that's all the items that I can think of. Anything else that anyone wants to bring up? Okay, if not, thank you everybody for joining. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Surya.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.